Despite the show's desperate efforts to increase viewing, the ratings for American Pickers have plummeted, despite the fact that fan-favorite star Frank Fritz was terminated from the series. After being off from the air since September, American Pickers made its triumphant comeback on Wednesday, January 4, with actors Mike Wolfe, his brother Robbie, and Danielle Colby. The United States Sun is able to reveal in an exclusive manner that the second episode of the season 24 premiere received low ratings. Only 797,000 people tuned in to watch the show that aired on January 11. The number of viewers that watched the episode was 943,000, which is a significant decrease from the premiere of season 24. A curious in rarities. As a result of the show's frantic attempt to raise ratings by changing the episodes from Saturday to Wednesday, this results in the current situation. Although the addition of celebrity guest Jack White from the band, the White Stripes did not contribute to an increase in ratings, the show did feature the celebrity guest. The debut of the 23rd season, which took place in January 2022, attracted an astounding 1,050,000 viewers. On the other hand, fans stopped tuning in towards the end of season 23, as the ratings for the show that aired on August 27 dropped to 829,000 followers. After taking a week off, the series returned on September 10 with 928,000 viewers when it was broadcast again. The episode that aired on September 17 received a total of only 762,000 ratings. The episode that received the lowest ratings since the series resumed its run on July 9 after a break was this one. For Frank, we want. After the show was broadcast, fans took to social media to make their demands known and demand that fan-favorite Frank be brought back. Someone made the following observation: watching American Pickers without Frank is like watching the Patriots without Tom Brady. It's somewhat of a bummer. The question, "How is Frank doing?" was posed by somebody. Another third person begged, "Bring Frank back. We are missing him." Once more, someone exclaimed, "It's the new year. We beg you, please bring Frank back." After suffering a stroke that rendered him unable to work in July, show host Mike, who is 58 years old, expressed optimism that fan-favorite actor Frank could be able to return to the show. As Mike was traveling in Washington, District of Columbia in December, Capitol paparazzi approached him with the question of whether or not he would be prepared to make apologies with Frank, who had been fired from American Pickers in 2021. "Frank and I are friends, and he was just at my brother's graduation for his kids right before he got his stroke," he disclosed. "Our friendship is a close one. If anyone is thinking about Frank, they ought to be praying for him," the speaker suggests. The following is what Mike had to say in response to the question of whether or not he will ever return to the popular history series. "I would hope that he's going to be back on the show, but right now he needs to get healthier. There is undeniably hope, 100%. In response to the rumored disagreement between him and Frank, he laughed and said, "That is not true at all." The firing of Frank. For the time being, Frank did not make an appearance on American Pickers until an episode that aired in March of 2020. He was recovering from back surgery at the time. In spite of the fact that the original cast member had expressed a wish to return to the history show, he was terminated from his position in July of 2021. In order to recuperate after the arduous back surgery that he underwent, which resulted in him receiving 185 stitches, he was able to shed 65 pounds and abstain from drinking alcohol. In addition, Frank disclosed to the United States Sun that he had checked himself into a rehabilitation center in Iowa for a period of 77 days to treat his alcohol problem. In the year 2021, Frank stated, "I went to rehabilitation, and I've been sober for 11 months now. Drinking was no longer something I preferred. Alcohol was a contributing factor in my mother's death, which occurred 5 years ago. She was an alcoholic. The death of my grandfather was a consequence of his drinking. I couldn't help but feel uneasy about that. Twice a week was the frequency with which Frank attended meetings after the stint, he continued. I don't think I'll ever have another drink because I don't like the feeling anymore, and some of the stupid things that I did, he continued. I don't think I may ever drink again. In continuation, Frank stated, I am in a fantastic mood. I'd like to get back into the swing of things because life is getting better for me. If I had done it 5 years ago, I certainly would have been a different person. I wish I had done it. It was the finest thing that could have happened to me, and I wish that I had done it sooner, because otherwise I wouldn't be in the situation that I am in right now. An emergency in Frank's health. After a friend saw Frank lying on the floor of his house in Iowa on July 14, Frank was sent to the hospital for treatment of a stroke. The call to 911 that was made by Frank's pal from the Stars farmhouse in Iowa on July 14, just before 11 o'clock in the morning, was retrieved by the United States Sun. This is what the friend had to say. I just arrived at my friend's house here, and he was lying on his floor in a ragged position. He is unable to communicate with me. It's possible that he's having seizures, but I ain't sure. On August 18, Frank's friends submitted a request for an emergency appointment of a temporary guardian and conservator for the celebrity, stating that his decision-making capacity is so impaired. He has been recuperating at an institution that specializes in rehabilitation. COSTRS that are allowed. In an interview with the United States Sun in 2021, Frank disclosed the fact that he had a feud with his co-star Mike. According to Frank, I haven't spoken to Mike in the past 2 years. Despite the fact that he was aware that my back was infected, he did not call me to inquire about how I was doing. But that is the way things are. Everything is stacked in his favor 100% of the time. For the sake of demonstrating how much, I can't even bend down that far. Okay, that's all right. The situation is similar to that of Aerosmith, with Steven Tyler serving as the band's frontman. In this case, I found my place on the show. I'm currently in second place, just behind him. I don't have a problem with it, but it's possible that he does have a problem. In fact, he went so far as to state, I believe Mike is trying to get his brother Robbie in there to have me replaced. I am really perplexed as to why he is acting in such a manner towards me. Using the items that he sells at his antique shop in Illinois, which is called Frank Fritz Finds, Frank even made a significant statement about the program. I want Frank back is printed on shirts that Frank is selling, according to photographs that were obtained exclusively by the United States Sun.